Aaron Kane, who is Caitlin Clark and Afisa Collier's agent, and I want to read you guys the blurb that they have about her. Aaron Kane has become one of the most influential agents in women's basketball, representing some of the WNBA's biggest stars. As vice president at Excel Sports Management, she has a roster that includes Caitlin Clark, who secured a Nike deal worth a reported $28 million.
Hey, it started with a whisper, the type of rumor that becomes viral before its source is identified. A sneaker site administrator claimed to have seen internal marketing slides demonstrating Jumpman and Caitlin Clark's $50 million global partnership. At first, no one took it seriously, but within hours, screenshots surfaced, tweets went viral, and sports radio stations began asking the same question. Will Jordan Brand give Caitlin Clark the biggest deal in women's basketball history? If that were real, it wouldn't just be another sponsorship. This cultural earthquake has the potential to radically upend the power relations between Nike, Jordan, and the WNBA as a whole. Behind the scenes, agents are reportedly taking calls. Executives from both companies are hurrying, and Indiana Fever owner Steve Simon is seeing history happen faster than he can react, according to insiders. The story began when two Jumpman employees were spotted courtside at a Fever home game in Indianapolis. They were not wearing any badges. The media was not contacted by them. They were just observing in silence. A fan posted a picture a little while later with a caption, "Jordan in the building for Caitlin." That one post lit the flame. By the next morning, insiders and sneaker bloggers were piecing it together. Jordan's women's division has filed 3 new trademark applications. Take after her, Clark Pro and Clark One.
WNBA by storm last year. Now, her team is going to have 41 of their 44 games nationally televised, while the reigning champs, the Liberty, only have 32.
The timing was too good to pass up. Caitlin supposedly signed a $28 million, 8-year Nike contract prior to her rookie season. But when her first year shattered viewing records and made Fever merchandise a bestseller, that number didn't feel like much. Furthermore, rather of chasing buzz, the Jordan Brand generates it. There is no denying Jordan BR's dominance in men's basketball. Michael, Zion, Luka, and Tatum are among the modern icons included on this Mount Rushmore. For women, however, things are different. Despite signing famous people like Maya Moore and By Kellier, none of them have attained Clark's level of fame. Jordan Brand knows this. Analysts estimate that Jordan's women's brand accounts for less than 15% of the country's annual sales. To alter it, they want a single transcendent individual. Someone who sells trainers to those who don't like them. Someone who can move both culture and defenders with equal ease. Caitlin Clark is just that. Her highlights went viral before ESPN had a chance to publish them.
Another sign that the machine is fully behind Caitlin Clark. Look no further than her new multi-year partnership with Wilson. But it's not the partnership itself that serves as an example of her marketing power. Plenty of athletes have deals with Wilson, including Kalia Copper, Jamal Murray, and
Her global popularity in basketball, pop culture, and social media is the type that even multinational firms struggle to acquire. Additionally, her jersey sales are comparable to those of NBA rookies. Caitlin might take the Jumpman worldwide if Michael constructed it. A marketing executive said. So why $50 million? Ownership of a heritage is at stake, since this has nothing to do with shoes. According to industry rumors, the plan calls for a 10-year partnership, equity engagement in Jordan Company's women's ventures, co-branding on new Jordan training equipment, and her own signature line of lifestyle and performance footwear. In other words, a deal like to what Luka or Zion received, but with a twist. For the first time, a woman would be seated at the same financial table. Insiders in Jordan claim that the maths is accurate. A flagship Caitlin line may make $200 million globally in her first 3 years. In such case, a $50 million payoff would be regarded as an investment rather than a risk.
Overall, and I've said this before, the way you can see a league's growth is where you can see how high the bottom has gotten. Last year was the peak with Caitlin Clark. Now it comes down a little bit, but where it starts to go back up, that's where you have a new bottom.
It would also be the first time a female basketball player's endorsement exceeded her league salary by more than 50 times. That is a narrative-based brand strength. Jordan is also the greatest at telling one. At this point, the story starts to get complicated. Despite being part of the same empire, Nike and Jordan operate as rivals. Caitlin Clark is already a Nike athlete, too. How can a company compete with itself? Then by vying for control of the story. Nike's basketball division wants to keep her under wraps in order to market the next line of performance shoes and clothing. Jordan Brand wants to use her as their franchise's face. Despite one executive's purported depiction of it as a peaceful civil war, sources claim that the stakes are anything but amicable. If Jordan wins, it will show that the Jumpman logo can outperform the swoosh in women's sports, something that has never occurred before.
Like kind of what I want to do with some of the copies that I wear throughout the season, and my dog is really important to me. It's my childhood dog that I grew up with, so the shoe was basically all golden, and then obviously the tongueless shoe was pink for a golden retriever or any dog really. But
if Nike chooses to retain her, they risk coming out as disengaged from a younger generation that values independence over loyalty. Caitlin Clark is in charge in both situations. This is known to both brands. Back in Indiana, Steve Simon is pacing. Caitlin's name alone sold out Fever season tickets and doubled product sales. She turned the Fever from a squad in the process of rebuilding into the most valuable team in the league. However, if Jordan Brand enters the market with a global agreement, Simon loses some control over how his hero is marketed. When LeBron founded his own business, NBA clubs had similar fear. The identities of the players outgrow the teams. Simon reportedly met with league executives to talk about commercial independence, corporate jargon, and how to maintain competitiveness when our players become worldwide CEOs. His job is difficult. Because Caitlin essentially becomes the WNBA's unofficial commissioner of attention if her brand overshadows the Fever, he is both delighted about the spotlight and afraid of the imbalance. And that totally changes how the league operates.
Being entertained. The only reason people in any mass type of scale are watching is because of Caitlin.
There were differing responses to the rumor and player group discussions. While some sent fire emojis, others sent side emoticons. Some veterans questioned in private how a single player could make more money from sponsorships than a team's whole contract. Conversely, younger players saw it as motivation and proof that women's basketball now had a clown. Angel Reed posted an odd statement on X. Era Wilson laughed at a tweet that said, "Some people play the game, some people change it." In only a few hours, fan disputes descended into violence. Is there too much excitement surrounding Caitlin? Is this jealousy or justice? And every quarrel just made her more involved. She remains the center of attention for women's sports, whether you like her or not. And that's the exact reason why brands endure forever. Jordan Brand executives reportedly developed her marketing strategy behind closed doors. The goal is to adapt the original Be Like Mike commercial's emotional appeal for a new era. Pictures of girls shooting half-court threes. College athletes are wearing Clark ones. Voiceovers talk about boldness, creativity, and reimagining the game.
Robbery, $28 million over 8 years for Caitlin Clark. That's one of the worst deals that we've seen, but we continue. Along with Nafisa Collier, Arike Ogunbowale, and softball icon Jenny Finch, Kane built her reputation by launching Octagon's WNBA practice and later founded the Clarion.
If the campaign were to debut, it would do more than just promote a shoe. It would symbolize the shift from imitation to inspiration. Instead of becoming like Mike, become your own legend. A prime illustration of this kind of narrative is Caitlin. A modest upbringing, a steadfast work ethic, and calm confidence in the face of difficulty. Instead of proclaiming her grandeur, she displays it. And Jordan Brand, who are masters at crafting mythologies, recognize that every era needs its own symbol. Michael characterized the past. Caitlin Clark has the ability to determine the future. Insiders claim that this potential partnership isn't limited to the US. In an effort to find a star to head them, Jordan Brand has been covertly setting up women's basketball clinics around Asia and Europe. Caitlin's sophisticated looks and general charisma make her perfect for that role. She is both American enough for nostalgia and modern enough for TikTok. The proposal apparently includes youth activities under the Jumpman name, international tours, and a Clark Classic exhibit. Imagine Air Jordan and grassroots basketball. The timing is also perfect. As the Olympics draw near and interest in women's sports increases globally, the Jordan brand sees a clear runway. They only need a pilot because Caitlyn already knows how to take off. Several reports claim that Jordan Brand and Caitlyn's counsel began preliminary discussions months ago. Although there was confirmation of mutual interest, nothing was signed or disclosed. Her agent reportedly began by posing a single query. Will she be able to use her creativity? According to leaks, the Jordan Brand gave a positive response. Along with endorsement rights, materials, colors, and story, they are also providing her actual design input. That is not typical. Even in the men's game, few sportsmen enjoy that kind of autonomy. It's a declaration that Jordan desires both her face and her vision. If authorized, this would be the first fully co-designed women's trainer brand under the Jumpman banner. Instead of being in a separate women's section, this cue need to be positioned on shop shelves alongside to the LeBrons, Kobes, and Jordans. One small change that might be the most revolutionary of all is equal shelf space.